Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're continuing our look at the FaithFlow Campaign Series, and today we're tackling something that, well, it stops people dead in their tracks. We're not talking about policy, we're talking about money.
It's the single biggest barrier for almost everyone.
Absolutely. We're looking at fundraising for the beginner, and I want to start with the emotional side of it because Chapter 2 really nails this internal resistance.
Right.
It's that knot in your stomach, that feeling that you're bothering people or, that you're turning into a sleazy salesperson.
And that resistance is completely normal. The source material says that right up front. Look, whether you're the candidate or a spouse or a volunteer, asking for money feels so vulnerable.
Yeah.
It just carries this immediate fear of rejection.
Yeah.
But the whole idea here is that you don't have to, lose your soul just to fund a campaign.
So let's talk about the actual utility. It's called a hybrid workbook and strategy kit for the beginner. Someone without like a huge list of contacts.
No corporate backers, right?
Yeah. Right. And it has these tools like the supporter role grid. How does something like that actually help with the anxiety?
Well, what the grid does is it stops you from treating every single person the same way. It's a huge mistake to just blast the same donate now message to your college roommate and your pastor.
You can't do that.
You just can't. This tool makes you categorize people based on the relationship, not just their wallet size. It organizes the chaos so you aren't just shouting into the void.
That makes a lot of sense, structuring the ask. Something else that struck me was the tech note in Chapter 1. It says if you aren't tech savvy, just let someone else do it.
Exactly. And it's not saying you're incompetent. It's framing delegation as good stewardship. If you spend 3 hours fighting with a QR code, that's 3 hours you didn't spend connecting with people. Let a volunteer handle the mechanics. You focus on the mission.
And speaking of mission, that gets us to the faith-based reframe. The book really pushes against viewing fundraising as begging. But how do you actually ask for money without it feeling transactional?
You shift the perspective from asking to inviting. The author really anchors this in the idea of stewardship. You're treating campaign funds not as cash to burn, but as a trust you have to hold.
The text brings up Nehemiah here. What's the connection?
It's this idea of clean hands. Before Nehemiah ever went to the king to ask for resources, he spent time weeping and praying.
Okay.
He didn't have a slick sales pitch. He had a burden for the work. And the guide uses that, and also 2 Corinthians, to argue that fundraising shouldn't be about compulsion. It's about sharing a vision so clearly that other people want to join you.
That distinction is so important. Pressure versus invitation. Now, this book is part of the whole FaithFlow system, which is very personalized. I saw it connects fundraising styles to the spiritual gifts quiz. How does that work?
It just tailors the method to your natural wiring. So, for example, if the quiz shows you have what it calls truth gifts, you lean toward logic, facts, clarity.
The data person.
A data person, yeah. The guide shows you how to build a data-driven ask. Here's the budget. Here's the return on investment.
And if you're not wired that way,
Then you might have care gifts. In that case, the guide pivots you toward relational approach. It's all about building community and shared values. It's about alignment, not performance. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not.
the material also has these other elements, like a song called Faithful and a flip book, The Courage to Ask.
Those are there to reinforce the message. The song uses the mustard seed analogy. That small starts are okay, they matter. And the flipbook just visually tells the story of a candidate overcoming that fear of sharing their vision. It's all designed to lower the temperature.
To remind you, you're a person first.
A person first, candidate second. Absolutely.
So let's land on execution. We've talked about the fear, the theory. How does the book suggest we actually get this done?
Chapter 8 calls it finishing in faith, but the tool for it is the campaign support ladder.
How does that work?
It helps you visualize your support team as, well, rungs on a ladder.
Yeah.
Don't jump to the top. You build stability rung by rung. You start with your core people, then you move to wider circles.
So you're not alone.
You are not alone. It reminds you that you build a structure that actually supports you.
That seems like a really healthy place to leave it. The idea that you can do this, this difficult work without losing yourself in the process.
Precisely. You can turn a hassle into a holy invitation.
So if you're in the thick of it, or even just thinking about stepping up, know that there are tools to help you navigate this part with integrity. Thanks for exploring this with us.
Take care.